United States of America. Although little is known about the circumstances of his birth and early childhood, in Barbados, West Indies, where it is rumored Prince Hall is from, baptismal church records were exact and the name of Prince Hall cannot be found. The first official record we have of Prince Hall comes from manumission papers, which were submitted at the Boston Athenaeum. The William Hall family submitted this document in 1770. Manumission papers were used to free slaves during that time. This document states, in fact, that Prince Hall lived with and served the William Hall family for 21 years and were freed from the bonds of slavery on the 9th day of April, 1770. This gave Prince Hall an approximate age of 35 years old and a year of birth of 1735. Marriage records indicate that Prince Hall was married to Miss Sarah Ritchie on November 2nd, 1763. Miss Ritchie died 6 years later. He then again married August 22nd, 1770, to a Miss Flora Gibbons from Worcester, Massachusetts. Prince Hall did his work as a leather bearer and a caterer under the sign of the Golden Fleece on Water Street in Boston, Massachusetts. Prince Hall hired large quantities of free black men to assist in his catering as needed. Now, the Golden Fleece was not a pub as perceived by many personnel. It was, however, a shop that Prince Hall owned and subsequently became the meeting place for African Lodge Number 1. A significant event occurred on March 6, 1775, where Prince Hall and 14 other men of color received the 3 symbolic degrees of masonry in Lodge Number 441, an Irish military lodge operating under the Grand Lodge of England, attached to the 38th Regiment of the British Army under the command of General Gage. Lodge Number 441 eventually relocated to the New York colony. The relocation of Lodge Number 441 did not leave our black brethren, however, without a Masonic covering. The worshipful master at that time, Sergeant John Batt, issued to Prince Hall what was known at that time as a permit, which we now know today as being a dispensation, to walk on St. John's Day and to bury their dead with full Masonic rites, after which was formed African Lodge Number 1. This permit was legal and regular in all its customs and usages according to that time. However, it did not give our black brethren the right to initiate personnel into the fraternity. Prince Hall enlisted as a soldier during the American Revolution and served on the 2nd and 6th Regiment of Massachusetts. He served with valor and steadiness. It was said that Prince Hall was not only a good soldier, but a good statesman. After years had passed and the war ended in 1783, Prince Hall felt the need to get full Masonic recognition, and on March 2nd, 1784, Prince Hall unsuccessfully petitioned the Grand Lodge of England for a full Masonic charter. The letter of request was signed only by Prince Hall and was probably considered not to be an acceptable application from the lodge. On June 30th, 1787, a second letter was sent by Prince Hall, signed by himself as a worshipful master of African Lodge Number 1 and attested by the secretary, Cato Underwood. Fees sent and not received were probably the reason why the Grand Lodge of England did not send back the charter, as it was prepared that year and given the date of September 29th, 1987. 1787, not so soon. 3 years later, Prince Hall attempted to send a third request by way of Captain James Scott, who was a brother-in-law to John Hancock, one of the original signers of the Declaration of Independence. Captain Scott received the letter, turned it over to the Grand Lodge of England and the fees, and received the 3-year-old charter from the Grand Lodge of England, and returned it to Prince Hall in Boston, Massachusetts. Prince Hall notified the Grand Lodge of England of their receipt of this charter and said, "By the grace of God, I will endeavor to fulfill all that is required of me by this charter and make the Constitution my guide." African Lodge Number 459 was constituted May 6, 1787. on the Golden Fleece on the Water Street of Boston, Massachusetts. Charter number 459 has been and is in the exclusive possession of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge Free and Accepted Masons of Massachusetts, and is kept under lock and key at the First National Bank of Boston. Charter number 459 is believed to be the only existing copy of any 18th century charter given to any American lodge in the United States. This document is of historical importance to Prince Hall Masons. African Grand Lodge was constituted in 1791 due to Assembly of the Craft, where Prince Hall was their first Grand Master. Prince Hall passed into the great unknown December 4th, 1807. At Assembly of the Craft in 1808, the name was changed from African Grand Lodge to Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge Free and Accepted Masons of Massachusetts. The Deputy Grand Master, Brother Prince Nero, became Grand Master at that time. Through growth and expansion, Prince Hall Masonry moved south and west. There are 3 lodges that are required to form a Grand Lodge: Hannibal Lodge number 1 of San Francisco, Philomathian Lodge number 2 of Sacramento, and Victoria Lodge number 3 of San Francisco were the 3 lodges used to form our Grand Lodge, and thus the 9th Grand Lodge was organized in California. The Grand Lodge was founded in San Francisco on Tuesday, June 19, 1855. It was titled Grand Lodge, Free, Ancient, and Accepted York Masons. It was later named Sovereign Grand Lodge, and we now bear the distinct title of Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Free and Accepted Masons for the state of California, Incorporated.